Greetings, everyone, and welcome. October the 30th, 2025, late evening here in the United States, already the 31st there in Ukraine and in Russia. And as you can see on the thumbnail and the title, this is what is happening. No battery vehicles or hybrids are allowed on the Kerch beginning November the 3rd. They are now banned because of imminent threats that have been discovered. And this is good news for Ukraine, trying to take that Crimean bridge out. In addition to that, I've got a good bundle of good Ukrainian news tonight because we've not had the best over the last few days with massive strikes and the updates coming out of Pokrovsk and Mirnograd and Kupiansk. But the next few minutes, get ready to be encouraged. And I think at the very end, you will be inspired by the unbreakable will of Ukrainians. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Let's jump straight in. So this is the official announcement. I have confirmed it out of Russian sources. I have confirmed it out of Ukrainian sources. And it basically says, attention to drivers of hybrid and electric vehicles. Electric vehicles and hybrid vehicles no longer will be able to cross the Kerch Bridge. They will be prevented. It actually says the Crimean Bridge beginning at midnight on November the 3rd. That's it. No more. Details: electric and hybrid cars will be banned from crossing the Crimean Bridge starting November 3rd. Such vehicles will not be allowed to enter the highway leading to the bridge from Krasnodar Krai side, and I'll show you this on the map in just a moment. Likewise, if these vehicles are already in Crimea, they cannot cross back across the bridge into Russia. And you may ask, Greg, are there a lot of EV vehicles in Russia and Ukraine? The answer to that is overwhelmingly yes. There are so many EVs, so many Teslas, so many Chinese EVs. There are many. So traveling for Crimea, vehicles will be stopped at checkpoints. Earlier, the bridge has already been closed to cargo transport. I guess going forward, you're going to be able to ride your bicycle across the Crimean Bridge. This is good news for Ukraine. So let me explain this to you here very quickly using the map. So this is the Krasnodar Krai side. And of course, the Kerch Bridge is here, crossing into Kerch, into Crimea. So this is now closed to those electric and EV vehicles. It says the only other option for you to leave Crimea or get into Crimea with an electric vehicle, it says through Tangorog, coming down through Mariupol, Berdyansk, down, and you come through Zhankoy right here, and then into Crimea. That is it. This is now closed, and that, my friends, good news. I mean, honestly, it's just going to be a pedestrian bridge here pretty soon. This is good news for Ukraine. Now, why? This is a sample of what Russia has been dealing with. They're taking Ukraine or special operations or whatever it may be. They have caught these vehicles loaded, batteries that go in this casing here. They're replacing them with plastic explosives and they're undetectable. So this is done. This is not happening anymore. And this bridge is closed. Now I want to move to some other good news for you. And remember, in just a minute, you're going to see a video that's going to inspire you this evening by unbreakable Ukrainians. That's all I'm going to say. Russian fuel exports. We need to watch this because even after today, getting the reports of what happened in China, China looks like they're going to be being able to continue to purchase Russian oil, LNG going to Japan. We're going to have to see how all of that washes out. But up to now, we have a record. Russian fuel exports fell to the lowest level since 2022 due to strikes on refineries, which is the Ukrainian sanctions or the Ukrainian offensive actions against refineries and storage units and production facilities inside Russia, and also because of sanctions. So if you look at this historical pattern, you have 2022 in the black, 2023 in the pink, 2024 in the blue, and now 2025 in in the gold. And you can see the trend is your friend. It's going down on the gold line 2025. But one thing I've noticed on this chart is the months of November and December. In all years previous, 22, 23, and 24, we had a bounce back in the last couple of months of the year. So we will be watching, especially after the China news today. Will that spike back up, or will this trend continue? Regardless, as of today, October the 30th, this is good news for Ukraine. Now, more good news. Weather. Say, okay, Greg, you're reaching for it here. No, I'm not reaching for it. Ukraine's struggling right now massively with the heat, electrical grid, water, you name it, because Russia has been striking consistently and hitting Ukrainian infrastructure. Heat systems that come through the boiler systems have been delayed in some cities. In some cities, they're not functioning at all. Vinnytsia was hit very hard last night. The weather is going to have an anomaly. Up to 19 degrees Celsius forecast for the first week of November, and even the low temperatures will only be between like 2 and 8. Now, for those of you in the United States, it's almost going to be 70 degrees. They're like 68, 66 during the day. It'll heat up well. So this will be all through the first week. You can see there on the map where the nation of Ukraine is outlined in black, and that basically, it looks to me like Europe itself having a warm first week of November. This is good news for Ukraine, giving time for Ukraine to repair infrastructure, fortify infrastructure, people to prepare, and also stay warm in a week when it is typically very, very cold as you get into November. In addition, no rain. It's going to be dry. All good news for Ukrainians. I want to bring your attention as I'm closing out to Mariupol, and then you're going to witness the unbreakable spirit of Ukrainians. This is the site in the very center of Mariupol where the McDonald's was. Now, it was closed in 2014, but the building remained. It stayed. Russia has now reopened it, and it is called McFly. You can see the big Soviet-looking banner there on the building behind it. You see the building to the left that has been restored, the building to the right in the background, which is still destroyed, and it says Mariupol Gorod Silny Ludi, which means city of strong people. McFly. And over on the right, the little logo there, and hamburgers and ice cream and French fries and cola. Yeah, this is putting lipstick on a pig. This is what they're doing there in Mariupol, and this has now opened. Why am I sharing that with you? Because you can just see this city is been devastated. Do not believe any of the propaganda out there. They'll fix up one city block, two city blocks, make it look beautiful, shoot it out to the world and say, hey, everything is great here. No, this is propaganda, and this is what they do. So they've opened this McFly. Now it's time for the unbreakable spirit of Ukrainians. Just moments ago, while recording this, actually, Sumy was struck by 10 shaheeds simultaneously. This is actually a photo of a building that's on fire right now as I'm recording this, and we have no results. Of course, yes, people will be wounded. Hopefully no one has lost their life, but that's happening right now. On the map on the left, I have Kyiv in the pink, so you have a little bit of understanding of the cities we're talking about. The far right blue circle is Sumy, and the far the blue circle directly above Kyiv is Chernihiv. These two cities are struggling mightily with their power grid, water production, heat, especially Chernihiv. And tonight, just even minutes ago, the television tower and comms there in Chernihiv was struck by a massive strike coming out of Russia. Chernihiv is under big assault, and nobody's really talking about it because we're focused, and rightfully so, in places like Pokrovsk and Kupiansk, but Chernihiv under massive assault. And I want you to hear the unbreakable will of Ukrainians in Chernihiv. Listen to this. You know, I can live without electricity. The main thing is that Russians are not killing children and causing destruction. We've been through this before. It'll be difficult, especially for those who have small children, but people like me, we're used to it. We prepare for blackouts in advance. Power banks are charged. The phone is charged. I have an echo flow and barrels of water. We have gas and a gas stove so we can bake and cook. I'm not ready. How could I be? I live in a regular apartment. What could I replace anything with? Nothing. Since we stay in Chernihiv, we need to get used to this kind of life. Everything will be fine. Our side will win, and everything will be fine. The blackouts will end. Oh, I've heard that phrase so many times in Ukraine, and it is the unbreakable will of Ukrainians. And you ask, what phrase is that? It is "Se будет dobre." Everything will be okay. We stand strong. So, in lieu of a few days of really tough news coming out of Ukraine, tonight, good news. Kerch Bridge, it's changing by the day. Eventually, it's just going to be a pedestrian bridge before it falls into the Black Sea there, the Sea of Azov. Guys, thank you for all that you do, staying on top of a lot of things that are unfolding. I'm also watching some things out of Africa right now that are so disturbing. And yes, it's all connected. Every bit of it's connected. Russia, China, Middle East, U.S., you name it. We'll be giving you the updates. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all that you do. You guys have a good evening or day wherever you're at. Be blessed.